Bonjour, mon ami, and welcome to the show this morning, coming to you live from the studios of Video Sign Incorporated. That's right, we're not in the studios of 4680Q this morning, just simply because the weather's crappy out there and I'm not driving around in this weather for nothing. But I still deliver a show, don't worry about it. We are here, absolutely here, this New Year's Eve day. Unbelievable. We are at a new year already, which is fantastic. What a game last night. As you can see, my partner Jean-Louis Filion is not here today. He's still feeling under the weather, believe it or not. So, in that regard, he's not here, but he'll be back. He'll be back. He's feeling better. He said he had contacted me last night. So let's move on with the show. What a night last night. And we're going to be talking about that at length later on in the show. Like I say, we are in winter weather here. We spent 2 days in 2 games in Florida. And you know what? I always love going to Florida because down in Florida, we have some of the best fans. We have the snowbirds from La Belle Provence down there cheering on the Habs. So when you go to one of those games, it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of people cheering for the Habs. And last night we even heard the Let's Go Habs chant. So it's fantastic to play in Florida, although those two teams, the stinking Bolts and those stinking Rats, always give us a hard time. But it wasn't really that bad this time. We pulled down 3 out of 4 possible points between the two, made some fantastic comebacks, some comebacks, which was great to see. And it worked out really, really, really good for everybody. Now, you know what? I got to put my red Habs watch on. I need my red Habs watch. I just don't feel the same. There it is. Okay. So let's get into it. First, viewer comments, and we always have the great viewers. Happy New Year to all our viewers, all our commenters. Gary Cornway, Vinny Houdon are two of the ones. Rexus Doofus, the whole bunch of them. They're just a great bunch of people that follow the show and comment on the show. We take their comments to heart. We read them on the show, and it's amazing the Hab fans out there who have some great insight into hockey. A lot of the teams have fans. They come and watch the game, cheer, do a tailgate party or something, then they go home. Not Habs fans. This is a religion. They know what they're talking about. And when they give me a comment, I take it to heart because they're very, very knowledgeable fans. So at Gary Cornway 9301, great video, Sir Paul. Merry Christmas to all the HABSOLUTELY gang. Thank you so much, Gary. We appreciate that. What a Christmas gift beating the Bruins. Yes, it was. We gave them the Beantown beatdown. You got to love it when that happens. Habs will not be intimidated by the Bruins. Happy New Year. Yes, they won't. That Demidov, Kapanen, and staff line is running on all cylinders. It will only get better. Yes, it will. As for the trivia, I got it right because I went with Noel Picard, the only name I recognized on the list. Lucky guess. Go Habs, go. And of course, last week we said the trivia question was, who was the only Habs player in the history of the Habs, of all the thousands of players that played for him, that was actually born on Christmas Day, and that was Noel Picard. He also says, I'm impressed with Fowler's performance. This guy doesn't lose his net. He seems always in good position, squared to the play. He looks like the real deal. Our number one of the future and maybe present. Him and Dobish make a good duo. I think the Habs will only get better as the season goes on. And Gary predicts a long playoff run. He feels it in his bones. Go Habs, go! And I agree with you, Gary. I think Dobish and Fowler are our future. I think they are. Both of them. Monty is not in the mix. He's not going to be the guy that wins the Stanley Cup. And but these two could be. They could be the 1-2 punch the Habs need to take them to the promised land. And I agree with the long playoff run. We're seeing what they're doing right now. And, for a couple games, it might be a fluke or this or that. But we'll talk about this later. But it's unbelievable what they're doing, the Habs, right now. And they're only getting better. Think about that one. What you're seeing now is not the best they can give. They're only getting better as they get more experienced than that. Guys like Demidov. I mean, this is going to be crazy. And then we have Hage and Zarkovsky probably going to be playing in the next 2 or 3 years. You're only going to see this team get better and better. Are we going to win a Stanley Cup this year? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we need a little bit more experience, that kind of thing. But I'll tell you, they're learning fast, and it proved it the last 2 games. At Vinny Houdon, trivia was too hard. Christmas Day, my day, birthday. I would have to Google to get that answer for that one, and I don't cheat. So you stumped me again. Well, there you go, Vinny. I'm glad I could stump you. Vinny's pretty knowledgeable, so if I can stump him, that's a great, great trivia for me. And another comment from Vinny. Hey, Paul, Merry Christmas to everybody that's involved in making this podcast. I truly love it every week. What a game last night. A beatdown by the Habs in the third made it a perfect Christmas gift to all Habs fans. Our top players delivered. What a beautiful breakaway goal by Demidov. Superb back check by him in the game. And what a great 6th goal he got to close the game out. Go Habs, go. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas to you. Vinny, I hope you had a great Christmas. We're by that now. But I'm sure wishing you a happy new year, which takes place tonight. Come on, get off some steam. Get a couple streamers. Blow a couple horns. Get a hat on. Go Habs, go. Thank you for the comment, Gary. Now we move right into Habs trivia. Did I miss a comment from Gary here? Nope, that was it. Thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate it. Don't forget, share the show with your friends. Go and subscribe, thumbs up, comment, share it with your friends, get everybody involved. Come on, let's make this a big party. That's what this show is, a big party. We have a good time on the show. Yeah, we do some stats and we review the games and that, but mostly it's a fun time. We have a laugh here. Not everybody agrees with everything we say, but you know what? They're involved, and that's what we want. We want people involved. We want people to come down, have a good time, listen to the show, give their opinion, and we run with that. So let's go to Habs trivia now, and I got another really good one for you here, Vinny. I don't know if you're going to get the answer or not. This is another tough one. Last week we talked about one Noel Picard, the only Hab player born on Christmas Day in the history of Le Glorieux. Let's follow up with this question. What Habs player was the only Hab player born on New Year's Day? What Hab player was the only Hab player born on New Year's Day? Since we're running with New Year's tomorrow, there you go. There's your question. I'm going to give you 4 choices. Aurel Joliet, Maurice Rocket Richard, Newsy Lalonde, or there was no Habs player in the history of the Habs born on New Year's Day. So there you go. There you go. You got it. Those are your choices. Who was born on New Year's Day? What Habs player in the history of the Habs, and there's been thousands of Habs, was born on New Year's Day? Aurel Joliet, Maurice Rocket Richard, Newsy Lalonde, or simply there was no Habs player in the history of the Habs born on New Year's Day. What do you think, Vinny? Gary, what do you think out there? What do you guys think? You think there was a player that was born on New Year's Day? I don't know. You have to tell me. And if you think it's any of those 3, I'm going to show you my beautiful Christmas flowers there. See? I got them right there. Look at how beautiful. Okay, so the answer is Gary and Vinny. Number 4. Believe it or not, there was no Habs player Born on New Year's Day. Of the thousands of players that skated for the Habs, there wasn't one Hab player born on New Year's Day. Go figure. Go figure. Now, the one guy everyone thought was born on New Year's Day was Newsy Lalonde. Because of the name Newsy, New Year's, he was associated with the New Year's Day baby. But the truth is that he was born on October 31st, Halloween Day, in 1887. So we're really going back for Newsy. But a lot of people said he was born on New Year's Day, but that was just a rumor. He never was. And of course, Lalonde was a Habs legend, total legend. And he wasn't just a professional hockey player, he was a professional lacrosse player. Considered one of the greatest lacrosse players in the first half of the 20th century. Combine that with hockey. He was one of the greatest hockey players in the first half of the 20th century. He was an original Flying Frenchman. He was a player coach. He led the Canadiens to their first Stanley Cup in 1919 and set 3 NHL records that stood for over a century in the NHL. In 1919 Stanley Cup playoffs, he scored 17 goals in 10 games. In 1927, Newsy was named head coach of the New York Americans. He played as a substitute in 1 game. In 1926, before hanging up his skates for good, after his retirement, he also coached the Ottawa Senators between 1929 and 1931. He took over as coach of the Habs between 1932 and 1935. He was captain of the Habs from 1915 to 1921, led the Habs in scoring in 6 of the years he played for the Habs. He was a member of the first Canadiens team to win the Stanley Cup. In 1916, he played a physical style of hockey and had a dreaded snapshot called by other coaches the best shot in hockey. There was a rule in the NHL that goalies could not drop to their knees to block shots. And he took advantage of that to always shoot at the knees, where a goalie had to decide to use his pads, his blocker, or his catching glove. Slowing down the goalie's reaction time, they had to decide how to stop this hard shot of Newsy Lalonde's. Opposing teams would assign 3 or 4 players to shadow Lalonde when he came down the wing. He was said to be one of the meanest players of his time, and as a coach, he actually punched one of his players who tried to stand up to him. He was arguing with him. He wouldn't take anything from players on or off the ice. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1950, ranked number 32 on the Hockey News Greatest Players of All Time list. Lalonde to this day has the 3rd highest points per game average, sitting at 1.667, trailing only Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. Played 99 NHL games, scored 124 goals, added 41 assists in his NHL career. Pretty good stats. His NHL records still stand: most goals in a playoff game, 5, tied with 4 other players. Most 4-goal games, 2, tied with Gretzky. And most goals, Stanley Cup final game, 4, tied with 5 other players. Newsy Lalonde. That's our guy. Rumored to be born on New Year's Day, but actually born on Halloween Day, 1887. He died in Montreal November 21st, 1970, at the age of 83. And amazing player. I like talking about these old timers. They were so good in their day. How would they do against today's goaltenders and rules? That I don't know. I think they would probably do okay because the basis of their game was talent. The guy was a talented individual, and with that comes points and speed and everything else. Of course, the question was there anybody born on New Year's Day that played for the Habs? And the answer is no. But Newsy was the closest. Past week with the Habs. Okay, we played against the Bolts in Tampa on Sunday. And if you remember last week when I reviewed these games, I said It's going to be a close one with Tampa. It could go into overtime, and I think we're going to win in overtime. And I looked up and I saw Fowler in that, and I go, "Uh-oh, look who's on the bench, Montembeau." And I mean, that's Kavorka. That's bad Kavorka right there. That's bad karma. Talk about bad karma to start a game. And the first period was a total disaster for the Habs. Doba should have been in the starter for this one anyway. That's what I think. I think Doba should have started this game. And Monty should be nowhere near that bench. Well, Habs deserve better in this one. It was 4-1, but these lucky bounces. I mean, one of them came off a broken stick. Demidov goes in. He's in the slot. He's going to blast one home. You can just see it happening. And you know what? The stick shattered. Puck goes up the ice. There was two Bolts players lollygagging, and they come back, and the puck was passed out of the zone when Demidov's stick exploded. They grabbed it, went down to 2-1 and scored. What a lucky bounce. And then the second one, it was even crazier. Slavkovsky's coming up the wing. He shoots the puck in to enter the zone, hits the referee, goes right back into the zone. Kovalev's got what's his name there? Their big guy. What the heck's his name? Anyway, he gets that lucky goal. It goes right to him. I'm trying to think of his name. Oh, of all the people to go to, it had to go to their best player. I'll think of it. And he goes in and scores on Fowler. I mean, you got a guy who's played 5 games in the NHL, and you got their best player going in on him. Yeah. And before you know it, it's like 3-0. And then Montreal got a goal. And who got that goal? Demidov, I think Demidov got it. I should write this stuff down because I don't have a good memory. I think Demidov got it. And then it was 4-1. And then we came storming back in the third. It was unbelievable. We tied the game with 3 seconds left, sending it into overtime. And we lost in the shootout. Crazy game, but we got a very important point on the road in this 7-game road trip that we're on, which is fantastic. Our guys were outstanding. I think they shocked the Bolts, mounting the comeback. I didn't have a lot of faith in the shootout. I mean, Dobas would have been the better goaltender in that. For I think he's got more experience than Fowler. And I think he should have got this game, but I digress. I mean, he didn't. Demidov got his 10th. Slav got his 11th and 12th. Dobson did the honors for the Habs, and although Fowler only turned in an 818, he played better than that number, making stops when we needed them the most. So, although we're down 3-1 and it got to 4-1, Fowler still made a lot of good saves, and he kept it from getting really out of hand. Deneau proved his worth, like I said he would, 70% in the faceoff circle, giving Habs total domination in the OT. The power play let the Habs down 0-for-4. Road shot the Bolts 36-22. I mean, a few bad bounces, and we lost that game in overtime, but we got the important point on the road. And, at the end of the day, this comeback just showed the character of this team. There's no quit in this team. They will not give up the win. They will keep skating to the final buzzer. Slavkovsky got the goal with 3 seconds left in the third period to tie the game. This is a never quit team, and you cannot take that away from them. And they deserve to win this game. They outplayed Tampa. There's no doubt about it. It's sad that they got those 2 goals that were circumstances of luck, really, when you think about it. I'm still trying to think of their their big guy. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But regardless of the situation, Habs got the important road point. They could have won that game. They basically outplayed Tampa. They should have won. They deserve better, and it didn't work out. So we forget about it and we go on to the next game. But there's something going on with this team, and we saw it in the Tampa game. This desire to win, and you can't take that away from them. They do have the desire, and they're willing to go out there and play to win the game. I don't care what the score is. If they're there, and they're going to do their best to turn it around, and they did. We got the important point. Didn't get the shootout point. I think if Dobis was in, we may have got that point too, because we certainly outplayed them. We just couldn't put that puck in the net in OT and in the shootout. A character building game and a nice comeback for the Habs. So we move over to last night's game against the Rats in Florida. Habs win 3-2 in overtime. And last week I called the overtime win. I said I thought this game was going to go into overtime. It's going to be a very close game. And we're going to win in overtime. Same as I called for Tampa. Well, we won one, we lost one. So there you go. But this game is the game I've been waiting for all season. This game was a game where Marty St. Louis got his coaching wings and could be a turning point for him behind the bench. MSL outcoached Paul Maurice. He really, really did. MSL launched the Bees from the hive, totally devastating the Panthers, turning them inside out, trying to keep up. Marty had a game plan against Florida. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that. And he executed it with his players to the nth degree. The Rats were running around in circles. They just were running around. They had no clue that Montreal was cleaning their clocks for most of the game. And, the Rats managed a seeing eye goal from Marchand and a soft one from the side on Montembeault. And that's another thing. Montembeault was in net. Oh, boy. MSL is not going to give up on Montembeault. Let's face it, this proves that he puts him in there in this game against Florida. And Monty had a good game. Now, he let in 2 goals. One of them was the seeing eye dog goal. I mean, Marchand shot it and it went in. Monty was screened on that one. Can't blame him for that. Second goal was pretty soft. I mean, he should have had that. And it's 2-0. But you know what? It didn't matter. MSL calmed them down. They went out there and kept playing their game. They never gave up. And when Florida started turning it on a bit, they were able to get rid of them. And then once it got back to 5-on-5, because we did have a bunch of penalties there, they went to work. Caulfield got one, 2-1. Suzuki got one, 2-2, with the goaltender pulled. And 2 of the elders, if you can call Suzuki and Caulfield that, they've been there a while now. They took charge and did that. Our best players did what they were supposed to do. Our captain led the way. Marty calmed them down. Habs were buzzing for the last 7 minutes and scored 2 goals that tied the game. And we go into overtime. And they were buzzing them in overtime once again. And that dirty rat, that stinking backstabbing Marchand, throws a cheap shot on Matheson, a shot to the head, which I hope the league reviews and gives him a few games. The guy's got like a dozen suspensions in his life. He should get a couple games for this one. That was right at the head. But he got penalized for it. So here we are. He got a goal. They're celebrating his 1,000th game, which never happened that night anyway, but he wanted to celebrate it against the Montreal Canadiens, right? On his night, he does what Marchand does the best: give a cheap shot to somebody, gets a penalty, and the Habs came down, and Mr. Suzuki, our captain, Mon Capitaine, did the damage, put the puck in the net for his 13th goal of the season, and the rest is history. So suck on that, Marchand, you little rat. Hey, Marchand's looking from the box, eating a piece of cheese. Nah. Yeah, well, good for you, you dummy. I hate the guy. Great hockey player, I'll give him that. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's leading the team in points, but he's got that cheap shot he has to throw in, and it paid. He paid for it this time. Good work by the boys. They did it in overtime, 2-1, stole the victory from the jaws of defeat, and a dummy gave them the rest of the game. Sammy laid down a 9:33. If we could get solid goaltending like that from Sammy, he would be our starter, without a doubt. But there's a big problem, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So we pulled down 3 out of a possible 4 points in Florida, which to me, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. 75%. You know, we go to Florida with the sunshine and the golf and everything else going on, and a lot of times Florida takes advantage of the Montreal Canadiens. We don't usually do that great in Florida, but not this time. This time, we did it right. Like I told those guys on the radio show from Tampa, watch out. This is going to be a really tight game, a close game, closer than Tampa thought, because they did give us a beatdown 6-1 on December 9th. I said, it's not going to happen like that this time. And it didn't. So we got to be happy. As Habs fans, we got to be happy with the last 2 games. We have more games coming up, more tough games on the road. So this is one we can celebrate. I saw Monty with the Wolf's head over his Coyote head over his head. They give that to the best player of the game. He did deserve it. He played a great game, Montembeault, although, he let in that softie, but he still laid down a 9:33, enough to get us to overtime, and the boys did the rest. The boys took care of him this time. They gave him the win. But he's going to have to do better and have his own wins. Habs stats. Well, the 2 games this week against Sunshine State teams were pretty important, and we came out of that meeting getting 3 out of 4 points, and now have 6 of 8 points in the fantastic 15, which we're rolling right along through really quick. And that means we got 75% of the points in the first five games. Or is that the first? Let's see. Yeah, we got 75% of the points in the first 5 games, because we played 5 so far in the fantastic 15. We played the Pens, Boston, Tampa, Florida, Carroll, and Florida. All conference or division games. And we picked up 6 out of the 8 points, so 75%, which is just beautiful. That's where we want to be. And I figure we need about 62% of the points available at the end of the season to stay in the top 3. So we're right on track. This is fantastic. This fantastic 15 is going to define our season, and so far, so good. But things don't get any easier for us. We're on the road for 3 more games before we head back home for 4 games. Right now, the Habs are second in the division, 1 behind the leader, Detroit, with a game in hand. We're 3rd in the conference and only 3 behind the Canes, and 6th in the league overall. We're sitting at 21, 12, and 6, 48 points, a -1 goal differential. Our power play stats dropped to 25%. We need a little bit higher than that. We'd like to get up to 28, 30%. And our PK staying about the same at 77.8%. We'd like to get that up into the 80s. It's a bit low compared to the top teams. And so is our power play. For example, the Dallas Stars, top team, they're running at 30.6% for the power play and 82.9% for the PK. They're the numbers we'd like to get to as a team. They're the numbers that we'd like to get to. They're things that we have to work on. So, yeah, we're doing fine. We're right where we want to be, right where I hoped we would be. The Fantastic 15 started with the game against the Pens, ran through Boston, Tampa, Florida, Carolina. Is next St. Louis and Dallas. And then we need to beat Calgary, Florida, Detroit, Vancouver, Washington, Buffalo, Ottawa, Minnesota. If we can come out of that with 75% of the points out of 30 points, we'd like to see 75% of that. So, we'd like to see 18, 20 points. At least we'd be doing very, very good at 75%. 62% is what I'd really say we need to see. So about 18 to 20 points out of the 30. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape right now. So let's talk about this goaltender situation. This is a big thing for the Habs right now because last time we had this problem, we saw Primo, Allen, and Monty doing some kind of a weird rotation dance Marty had them doing. Every third game, they'd get a game. It never worked out for anybody. It was the worst thing ever. And the best thing ever would have been to get rid of one of those goalies. I thought it should be Monty. They got rid of Allen. But just when we thought the goaltending situation was straightened out with Dobish and Fowler, Mental Marty calls Monty in as backup, and he's sitting on the bench, which gave me heart palpitations, and I call it bad karma. Then Marty gives him a start. So how'd that work out? Well, we saw. Monty, he turned in a 9:33, and Habs pulled the victory out of defeat with last-minute heroics. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. We've seen this movie before. Have we not, Habs fan? We've seen this movie before. Monty turns in a great game. Everybody's happy. He's got the wolf head on and everything. Then turns in 5 bad ones. I mean, we've seen this how many times now? Monty can deliver one good game. We sent him down to the AHL. He couldn't even deliver one good game. He lost both games. Although he did have a good game, the one game he lost. But he can't do it game after game. And that's the problem here. You start getting confidence in him again, and then he lets you down because he's not a starter, never has been. He isn't that goaltender. So what's Marty going to do now? He's not going to do a 3-goalie rotation like he did Allen. He'll ruin everybody. He'll ruin Fowler, he'll ruin Dobish, and Monty's already ruined. Don't even think about Marty. Don't even think about it. No goalie rotation. You have to decide as coach who you want to be sitting there. And I don't care who you pick. If you want to go Monty and Dobish until Monty proves he's a stiff, that's fine. Let's do it. Send Fowler back down to get his skates in Laval. We don't want him sitting around. The kid's too good to be sitting around. He needs ice time, preferably in the NHL. If you don't want to do that, then come on. Move Fowler down, get Marty up. Do not do the 3-goal rotation. If you're hell bent on supporting your boy Monty, like I say, send Fowler back down. He can get the ice time he needs because one day he's going to be our goalie. And it's going to come sooner than later. So don't do the 3-goalie thing. You want to play your boy Monty, go ahead, but make a decision. Don't monkey around with these guys. We have too much talent to be monkeying around and stiffing them and treating them crazy. Don't do it. We tried it once, didn't work out. Okay, over to Laval. the Rockets still sitting in first place. They had a great game against the Syracuse Crunch the other night. They're sitting with beat them, sitting with a 19-10-1 record, 22 plus 22 goal differential. Just had a huge game against the Crunch for first place, and they won. Belzile had a pair. Florian Jacki got one, and Wawa got one. And Kakinen got the big win in net, so he's doing okay down there. Yeah, Dolphin leads the pack with 34 points, including 10 goals, 24 assists. Belzile leads the team in goals with 14 now. Of course, the goaltending situation is way out of whack with Fowler at the Habs and Kakinen now sharing the duties with Hunter Jones as Monty got called back up, of course, during the week. I believe they play this afternoon. If anyone's interested, I may tune in that game. We'll see what happens. And of course, we got to mention the World Juniors. I mean, we got our guy, Michael Hage, playing. Already has 3 points, or 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. One of the goals being the overtime winner against Latvia. Kid appears to be the real deal. He's playing fantastic. Good for him. And I'm just keeping an eye on him as we move along. So there's 2 other reports we've brought over here just to let you know what's going on with our prospects down in Laval. And, of course, Michael Hage, who is supposed to be the next big thing at center, and he's sure looks like he is. Other news, Habs signed defensive phenom Bryce Pickford. Bryce Pickford, playing for Medicine Hat Tigers, to a 3-year, $2.8 million entry-level contract. Signed him on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, Bryce Pickford. A 3rd-round, 81st pick. This kid is tearing up the WHL with 48 points in 32 games, and he's a defenseman. 26 goals, 22 assists, leads the league in goals, and he's a defenseman. Pickford and Hudson on one team? How can this be true? But it is. It is. Pickford's going to be coming up eventually. He's 19 years old, I think, now, but can you imagine a 19-year-old kid playing in that league, a defenseman leading the league in goals? And he's all ours. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Zarkovsky, Pickford, Hage. I mean, we got more good players coming up than you can shake your stick at. Wish we had a real good goaltending prospect. Maybe we do, and I just don't know it. But it'd be really nice to have a goaltending prospect come up. So the coming week, well, it's a short week with only 2 games on the road this week. Thursday, January the 1st, New Year's Day in Carolina. Now, this is going to be a tough game, but it's a huge game because Carolina is only 3 points ahead of the Habs in the conference. And I think we have a game in hand. They always play us tough, and they're excellent at home. So then again, Habs are a top road team. The Habs are way better on the power play and about equal on the PK. I get the feeling it's going to once again come down to goaltending. I don't know who's Marty's going to play that game. I would play Dobish, and we have a back-to-back on the weekend. I would play Dobish. No, I forgot about Monty. Sorry. I'm thinking Fowler. I forget about Monty. Monty Dobish or Dobish Monty? I think it's going to be Monty Dobish, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I have to think about this one. This is our first meeting of the year with the Canes. Once again, if we get goaltending, we should be okay. We're up to them. We're equal to them. Don't worry about it. We got as good a team as they have. But it's going to be the goaltending. I still think it's going to be a very close game. Who gets the start? Who knows? But if the past means anything, I'm going to say Monty. He had a good last game. He'll play again next game. Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Marty's going to do. If the past means anything, Marty will be playing. Are the Habs showcasing Monty to possibly get rid of him? Maybe. Maybe. That's another reason he might get the start against Carolina. Your guess is as good as mine. But knowing Marty, I'm going to call Monty Thursday, Monty Saturday, Dobish Sunday, and we'll see what happens with Fowler. They got to do something with Fowler. He's got 10 games to play in the NHL before he's got to go back down, if I'm not mistaken. I think they got to make a move and send him down for now and see what happens with Monty. He's going to give him a break. So Saturday, January the 3rd, I'm going to call a win against Carolina in a close game. Saturday, January 3rd in St. Louis. We lost 4-3 December 7th at home. But with goaltending, we can beat St. Louis. I'm not too concerned about St. Louis. They have 38 points. They're sitting outside of a playoff position right now. I'm not too worried about the Habs playing them. We lost 4-3. It was a close game. Probably could have won it. We get some goaltending. We can win these games. Who gets the start? I have no idea. I mean, maybe we give Monty the game against Dallas, the tougher game. Do we want to do that and ruin any value of if he gets hammered? This is a bad situation to be in. Be easy to call with Fowler because Dobish Fowler, either way. We got a good goaltender in that. Monty in the mix? I don't know. But I still think we can beat, I'm going to call a win against St. Louis. I think we can beat them if we get some goaltending. And I'm not talking about Patrick Waugh or Marty Brodeur goaltending. I'm just talking about a solid 9:20, 9:30 game. I think we can get it done. In St. Louis, anyway. Now, Dallas is another story. We all know what happened to the Habs against Dallas at home. And now we're in Dallas. We took a beat down to the tune of 7-0. And Dallas are just that damn good. I told you their power play stats. I told you their penalty kill stats. And they just have a hell of a team. I don't see how we're going to win this one. I think it's just way too much against us in this afternoon thriller. A tie would be my best expectation on this one. And I don't think it matters who plays in net. I just think Dallas is too good. Now, I'd love to give Dobish the start in this one. This is the last of our 7 on the road before we come home to face Calgary. So, and that's next week. That's next week. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to call a loss. I got to be honest. I hate to say it, but I think if we're going to lose the game, it's going to be that one. If we can win 2 out of these 3, the last 3 on the road, I'm going to be very, very happy and come back home. And when we get back home after St. Louis, we've got to play, or after Dallas, we've got to play Calgary. We can win. Florida, we proved we can win. Detroit, that's going to be a huge game. We want to beat them. And then Vancouver. So it doesn't get any easier for the Habs, but I think Marty has had an epiphany. And I think we're going to see better coaching. If we can get anything from Monty, we got a good shot at these games, but I don't think we're going to beat Dallas. So onward to the 3 stars of the Semaine Dernier. I think my first star has to be Marty St. Louis. I think Marty's starting to get the hang of this coaching gig, finally. He definitely outcoached Maurice last night. And the players definitely believe in him. They believe in what he's selling. This Florida game could be the turning point in this coaching career, believe it or not. And detractors like me, we're going to have to finally drop the negative and give credit where credit is due. Now, one game doesn't make a career, but it sure looks like over the past few weeks, he's turned a corner as far as coaching goes. He had an epiphany. Let's see if he takes it and runs with it. Let's see if he takes it and runs with it. Marty has the talented players. Marty has the knowledge. He has the skill himself. Now I believe he's got the players believing in him. The only thing he's got to do is, in his mind, straighten out this goaltending thing. Because I said at the beginning of the season, this is going to be our Achilles heel. And with Marty not being able to make his mind up about the goaltending situation, it makes it even worse. We saw what happened when he tried it with Montembeault, Allen, and Primo. Allen and Primo were gone. He stuck with Monty, and I don't agree it was the best decision. So now he's got to make up his mind what he wants to do once again. And my thing would be, Marty, send Fowler down, let him play in Laval, go with your boy Montembeault and Dobish until he proves he's a stiff, that he's not a starter, and get rid of him once and for all. If anybody is willing to take him and get him off our books, I would jump at that chance if I was Hughes. I'm not Hughes. I can only tell you what I think. But Marty has turned a corner in coaching. I really believe that. I think last night's game really, really turned the corner for him. We're going to see some better formation of lines on the fly during the game. Handling problems with the game where we're seeing the Habs struggling and they need Marty to come up with a plan. And when he comes up with the plan, they take it to the ice and they execute. Last night, you saw that. Come on, boys, we're down 2-0. Let's get this game going. Caulfield steps up. Suzuki steps up. Game over. I believe Marty has much to do with that as the player. So I think he's turned the corner. My second star for the week, Suzuki. What can I say? This guy is the most underrated center and captain in the league. He really, really is. Questioning whether he's going to be on the Canadian Olympic team, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What this guy brings to the table is not being recognized by the league. Give me a break. This guy could take a team and lift it to victory himself. Look what he did last night, right? Look what he did last night. This guy is the real deal. Now he's going to the Olympics. Finally, the league cannot deny his greatness. Team leader, team captain, single-handedly forcing an overtime against Florida and putting the game away. I cannot imagine the Habs without Suzuki leading the charge. And I don't know why Team USA doesn't take Cole Caulfield too. They're both fantastic. Underrated. Suzuki is. I don't know why, but he is. He's one of the greatest. He really, really is one of the greatest in the league. And he's proven it game in and game out. Habs fans know, Habs know, but for some reason he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's just a phenomenal hockey player. My third star is our buddy Slavkovsky. And you know, I mean, what more could be said about this 21-year-old kid that hasn't already been said? Since he first stepped on the ice, he's been a factor. He just gets better and gets bigger and gets stronger. He's not only a player anymore, he's a presence on the ice. I can't imagine what this kid will bring to the Habs in the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to be amazing what this kid does. I mean, he's just just that damn good. He gave us a pass in overtime against Tampa. I mean, it's just when he's on the ice, you just feel something's going to happen. He's that good. Yes, he's going to make some mistakes. Like last night, he took the crappy penalty to give Florida a 2-0 lead. Hey, it happens. He's a young guy. He's still got to learn. He's still learning, believe it or not, at 21 years old. But overall, this kid is a presence, and he's going to be a force, and he's going to be a force for a long time for the Habs. I love the kid, and I can't say enough about him. Now, if I want to do an honorable mention, I'm going to honorable mention the whole Montreal team. Come on. This team doesn't know the word quit. They all feed off each other. Their work ethic is second to none in the league. The hardest working team in the league. From first to fourth line, from PK to PP, these guys are pulling together to not only win games, but to totally dominate them. And we really did dominate Tampa like that. We deserved a better fate. And last night was the same thing. We buzzed Florida all night. We buzzed them all night. They fight till the last buzzer goes off. Stanley Cup this year, stay tuned. Stay tuned. You can see them getting better by the game. You can see them not giving up. You can see them building character and culture. That is what a Stanley Cup team needs to win the Stanley Cup, and we have it. Now, it's going to get better as we go. It's going to get better as we go. Scary proposition for the rest of the NHL. Okay, that's it for me. I'm done. New Year's is here. Happy New Year. We love you all. We appreciate your comments over the past year. I mean, it's been a great year for Habsolutely. We've had a good time. We have more subscribers. We're looking for more. Share the show with your friends. It helps build the algorithm. It gets the show to more people, and we all can have a good time. Let them in on the fun. You see, John's not here. He's ill, but when he comes back, we usually have a big laugh, and Drew Deeks drops in every once in a while, and he's a great addition when he does drop in because we really have a good time with him. And, you know, at the show here, I call him as I see him. You're getting my opinion. You might not agree. You might agree. Some do, some don't. But I'm going to say it. And, you know, leave a comment. Tell me I'm wrong. And if I am, I'll just read the comment and say, yeah, you're right. And like I say, I'm going to not call Marty St. Louis Mental Marty anymore. I'm going to give him the respect because I think he has reached the turning point. And I have to believe that some of the criticism from the fans out there, he took to heart. He's getting better. He's making plans. He's playing the team on the fly, working it on the fly. You can just call it experience. He's getting more experience, which is true. But I think he's getting it. He's getting it. He always got it as a player. Now he's getting it as a coach. And man, that couldn't make anybody happier than me. I call him as I see him. If I don't see him, I call him anyway. All the best to you. God bless you all. See you next year. Go Habs, go. Have a happy new year. And we'll talk to you next year. Paul Kalemir, Habsolutely, signing out from the studios of Video Sign Incorporated. Have a great New Year's Eve, you guys. Don't drink too much. Stay safe. If you drink, don't drive. We want all of you back next year to enjoy Habsolutely. Au revoir, mon ami.